On the heels of that horrific acid attack against its director, Russia's Bolshoi Ballet is denying shocking new allegations by one of its former soloists. Anastasia Volotchkova was fired in 2003, reportedly because the company thought she was too heavy. Now Volotchkova is talking about the private lives of some ballerinas. She says Bolshoi management pressured its female dancers to sleep with wealthy donors, something the Bolshoi is flatly denying.
The way I see it, the troupe stands united. Everyone is working together, and we find our escape in our creative work. In all, I think that art will win in the end.
Now, the former ballerina who's making the claims, Anastasia Volotchkova, joins us now from our bureau in Moscow. So good to have you with us. Take us inside the Bolshoi. What's it like to be a ballerina there?
First of all, hello. I'm very happy to be here. And first of all, I would like to make this point very clear. I was fired from the Bolshoi in 2003, not because I was tall and heavy, but because the director of the theater, Iksanov, he was asked and pushed to fire me. And he did it in a very unlegal way. So I opened a very big CU process against him, and I won this process. And I proved that he was not right. Actually, now everything was going on at the Bolshoi Theater. Unfortunately, this is not art process. This is outrage, corruption, and what can we see now? It's also criminal and criminalism. And I have to tell you that even those days when I opened this due process, I was threatened by somebody who came to me to my dressing room with a knife, unfortunately, and they asked me to, from the name of director and all administrators, they asked me to stop this due process. So all these criminal stories, they started those days, 10 years ago. What we have now, and all over the world can see that this is really terrible. And
but were you surprised?
I'm very sorry for everything.
Were you surprised by that acid attack? Did you believe somebody, much less a main dancer, was capable of ordering such a thing or asking for it to be done? When
I knew that it happened to ballet director, I was shocked because Sergei Filin was not somebody from criminalism, from this criminal world. He was not a businessman. He was a dancer. And the terrible situation is that everything now, such a things, they happening at the Bolshoi Theater. Can you imagine? A few days ago, somebody from the opera, so soloist, the principal opera singer, he was stopped by the police because he stole a very big amount of money. So this is really ridiculous. About the girls, you know, and this escort things, they happened, you know, they happened 10 years ago and they're still happening now. I have many girlfriends who described everything, that they were pushed by administrators of the Bolshoi to join the parties with oligarchs, with director of the theater, with our ex-minister of culture, Shvidkoy. So they were pushed to join the parties and continue these parties with everything, with sex, with beds, with everything. So this is also not normal situation. It's very clear situation how much money already stolen after reconstructions of the Bolshoi Theater. It was $1 million spent for renovation of the theater. And it's really necessary just to go inside and see that nothing done there. Everything is very cheap, and it started to break.
But the Bolshoi has changed.
This man, director, he's still sitting there. Bolshoi has changed very much.
It's changed because there's so many very wealthy patrons. I don't think the average Russian can afford to go there anymore, can they?
Absolutely. Very wealthy people now started to interfere in the art process. Now, unfortunately, this is the situation now, that the guy with the big money, he can come to the theater to direct and say, with the money, that this girl will be dancing, this girl will not. And I was also involved in such a story, because the guy who I left also asked, Iksanov kicked me out of the theater. So I was there, I know what is this. As it started 10 years ago, but I want to tell you that I was prima ballerina of the Bolshoi during 5 years, and I know what is working with Yuri Grigorovich, with Vladimir Vasiliev, who invited me to the theater, and Yuri Grigorovich was inviting me to the Bolshoi again when I lived in London. But anyway, when Grigorovich kept the theater during 30 years, we couldn't imagine such a situation with the money, with the corruption, with the criminalism. We couldn't imagine such things. When Grigorovich guided a theater, we had so many dancers, like big stars, danced in one time. Плесецкая, Владимир Васильев, Екатерина Максимова, Наталья Бессмертного, Александр Годунов, Надежда Павлова, Alexander Vetrov. So many dancers danced in one time. If you now will go to the street.
You're talking about a day gone past.
Exactly.
You're talking about an art form.
Yes.
But the Bolshoi, it was an icon of this, of ballet. What has it become today?
It became a structure, let's say, a company where we can see, as I said, outrage, corruption, and criminalism, unfortunately. And now it's not a question about the art, about the dancers, about famous dancers. If you come on the street in Moscow and ask public, can you tell me 5 names, names of 5 stars who dancing now in Russia, not only in the Bolshoi? I think you will have a problem.
All right, Prima, I got to leave it there. Prima ballerina Anastasia Voleshkova, I have to leave it there. I want to thank you very much, though, for coming here and speaking with us at the International Desk.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
All right. Interesting what that ballerina has to say about the Bolshoi.